Big Tex right here, he's 55 feet tall, and he weighs 26,000 pounds.
So he made his first debut at the State Fair of Texas back in 1952. So this year is 65 years at the Great State Fair of Texas. He was looking pretty good for 65. He's made of steel. He weighs about 26,000 pounds, and then his boots alone are another 1,000 pounds apiece. So he's pretty heavy. As you can see, we need some pretty big equipment to lift him into place.
We get him up here this morning, we dress him as far as we can, then we have to put him on this crane because he's lifted up and pull out the bottom axle so we can get the shirt on and actually tuck it in. Right now we're getting it all tucked in and proper and putting on his outfit as much as we can. Then we'll touch it up once we get him up the hill. At 10 a.m. sharp, we will lift him and put him up on the hill. Yeah, they're doing the belt and tightening up the pants and finishing up the neckerchief right here. Once we get him up there, we're going to bolt him down. There's 8 places that we bolt him down on each leg. Big Tex is built and engineered to withstand 125-mile-an-hour winds. That's hurricane force winds plus, and so he's quite stable. After that, we'll move the boots. The boots weigh about 1,000 pounds apiece, so we got to get that up the hill and manhandle them into place. So, and while we're doing that, we'll be hooking him up to power, electricity, and sound also.
Everybody loves the fair and everybody loves Big Tex, and we wanted to kind of, there's a whole lot of science and math and, physics and everything else that are in there right now that you can see just from behind me.
So there's a process. We have to get a big enough crane that can pull the weight and reach it out about 55 feet to where he's going to eventually rest. And so there's a lot of calculations that go up there to make sure we can do that safely.
I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is all of the, honestly, the whole stem that's behind the fair. So the engineering piece is huge to be able to get him to stand up for all of those days and handle things like the wind, handle things like the rain. And you even have to take into consideration with his clothes, how they can withstand the weather as well. So the way that he was built, engineering played a big role in making sure that that he was going to be able to stand up there all those days. But then if you look at the huge crane that we're having to put into place to lift him up, that's a feat of engineering on itself. And just watching when the whole process happens, from how they thought to do the wheels to get him standing, to then removing those, getting him up here and drilling him into the ground, it's a pretty incredible engineering feat.
With a smile that spans 1,000 miles and a big how do you do.